Shalom. Shalom. And to those of you who guard Shabbat from morning to morning, I say Shabbat Shalom to you. My name is Symmanayah, and this is End Times Core 4, Set-apart Part 3. If you're new and tuning in for the first time, you may wonder why some people say set apart. Set apart distinguishes those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father versus those who do not. Most commonly and widely used are the words righteous and the pagan term holy. I'm not here to debate such, only to say why I am compelled to use the word set apart. And I believe in these end times, my brothers and sisters, as we begin to face transformation cycles, going from maturity, strengthening, and discernment, walking in the fullness of the Spirit of Abba Yahuah, we will indeed understand what set apart means. Set apart, and as I stated, of the core 4, sacrifice, set apart, safety, and survival of End Times Core 4, none of them can stand alone. We have entered into a time where the realities of what we confess to believe as a result of the scriptures, and specifically end time prophecies, are unfolding before our very eyes. What we claim to believe is being put to the test, and we will come to the point where those who are drawn by Abba Yahuah will indeed reflect his wishes. Yasharal, it is time to reflect on our expectations of what's to come and measure them against the scriptures as they are made alive before us. In order to be most accurate or precise, it is important to understand true discernment. It is an experience when the Spirit of Yahuah, sent in Yahusha's name, when the Spirit of Yahusha reveals, directs, guides, and make known the things that are hidden, the things that we must know, the things that will cause a response, a reaction. It is important to know how things are brought to us. For example, either directly through the Spirit of Yahusha, making contact with our spirit, bringing us into subjection and obedience to listen to what he has to reveal to us, or whether it be through the Spirit of Yahusha revealing to us as a result of working through us one towards another. It is critical to understand the need to embrace the belief factor. Belief. And keep in mind, my brothers and sisters, with belief, proof is not always seen immediately. Who is aware of the life and the magnitude of the verse in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 that says, "And belief is the substance of what is expected, the proof of what is not seen." And if you drop down to the 6th verse in Hebrews 11, you will see, "But without belief it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to the Almighty One has to believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who earnestly seek him." Belief, my brothers and sisters. There are many people who will commonly say, prove it, show me the script, with no intentions of praying and seeking to discern the life in the scripts. For if you just see the scriptures in part, you miss out. If you fail to study, if you fail to seek to discern what the Spirit of our teacher Yahusha is saying to us, you miss out. I know, my brothers and sisters, that belief is not an easy thing, but remember, the Almighty Father Yahuah draws his children. He is and will forever be successful in drawing his children. There is nothing that the Almighty Father Yahuah requires of us that is impossible for us to achieve. With these words said, let us consider some expectations regarding end times, of which I have written in the form of questions to provoke prayer, to provoke thought, to provoke gravity towards the realities of what's before us. Are we serving a living Almighty One in Yahuah? Indeed, we are. Do we believe the scriptures can be made alive through Abba Yahuah's set-apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name? In other words, can he bring to our attention what he means in the written text? What is to be learned? What is to be gained? Do we expect to witness the final Exodus, a gathering from the four corners of the earth before the physical return of Yahusha? Do we pray for unity among Yasharal? Do we anticipate some form of structure? Do we believe in structure? There is leadership. Do we expect to see times of movement? Are we curious as to who, when, where, how, and what is needed to make the final Exodus, to make such a journey? Do we believe some of us will die as a result of persecution? Do we believe some of us will face death in some way, shape, or form before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach, before the final Exodus? Have we come to the fact that we will face the most challenging times of our lives ahead? Are we aware that soon and very soon movement will come and we will depart from areas where we are currently residing, never to see them again in these physical bodies? Have we come to accept that our mental, spiritual, and emotional state will be stretched beyond our beliefs? Have we accepted that we must be transformed, and transformation comes as a result of discipline, refinement from the Almighty Father to prepare his children to bring about the unity that is and will be proven to be required as we are gathered from the four corners of the earth? My brothers and sisters, there is much talk about end times. In order to truly witness what is prophesied, we will see discipline before our very eyes. There must and there will be means of distinguishing those led by the Spirit of Yahuah sent in Yahusha's name versus those who are merely mimicking and copying what they hear being said, versus those who are fabricating their own stories and narratives. The truth will come out. We will be able to distinguish the difference. In other words, O Yasharal, there are and will be those who will copy and mimic what they believe is to come to pass. But know this, O Yasharal, there are many who are confidently wrong, period. And there are those who are led and out of obedience to the Spirit of Yahusha. They will be proven to be directed by the Almighty Father. Consider this. There are individuals claiming that all of Yasharal will be gathered before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach. If that was the case, that would make the scriptures a lie. For it is written that some of us will die for Yahushua's name. It is written that we will be persecuted. Even physically, we know some of us will die. Some of us are witnessing the death of close ones as I speak. You see, so to say everyone, and then they'll say, well, you know what I mean. No, what do you mean? There are those who are discerning, and there are those who are undiscerning. The undiscerning who take the position of the final Exodus, where they say that everyone will be gathered, is wrong. The undiscerning fail to recognize that not everyone will participate in the final Exodus. There are those who would dismiss that the final Exodus will even occur before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach. For there are those who even dismiss Yahushua Mashiach. But these words are to you, O Yasharal, you who are being drawn to listen and prepare for the discipline that is necessary to bring about all that is written, all that must come to be before Judgment Day. These words I speak to you, O Yasharal, you who are drawn by Abba Yahuah. The time is now to begin discerning what is expected of you and what is expected of us collectively. In order for us to come to grips with the answers to the questions I presented at the beginning of this installment, Set-apart 3, we must be able to discern and distinguish the difference between those led by the Spirit of Yahusha and those who are not. Let me pose another question, O Yasharal. What is more clear? A box with multiple pieces in the labels that claim that it's a beautiful picture within the box, but yet it's multiple pieces, but no instructions whatsoever? What is more clear? That or a box that has many pieces, that is complex, but that comes with not only instructions, but as you begin to follow those instructions, the picture becomes beautiful. The picture becomes clear. It becomes known what is actually being put together. I am compelled to believe that just as I mentioned about a complex puzzle, the set-apart body of Yasharal will be assembled, brought together by the instructions and directions of the Almighty Father through his set-apart Spirit, sent in Yahusha's name. He will reveal our placement and where we should be and what we should do. And as we begin to come together, it will become crystal clear to the world that the presence of the living Almighty One is with us. We will witness, O Yasharal. We will witness the pieces of the puzzle come together. We will witness where we're supposed to be when and when we're supposed to move. The ranks of those who will fulfill the final exodus and or those who will be directed to specific places where they will face physical death for Yahusha's name will become crystal clear to each of us. Let us pray, O Yasharal. Challenging times ahead. We must ask ourselves, are we prepared to render judgment? Are we prepared to receive judgment? In this segment, Set-apart Part 3, I want to bring attention to the word judgment. Are we willing to walk away, come away from compromising camps, fellowships, groups, etc.? Do we have the strength and the fortitude to purge obvious wickedness from our presence? Are we witnessing leaders take a stance and instruct on how to guard and protect what is forming regarding the coming together of an awakening nation? Know this, O Yasharal. Know this, my brothers and sisters. Leaders who just make us feel good, who tolerate compromising teachings and gatherings, are not led by the Spirit of Yahuah, are undiscerning, unlearned, undisciplined. Soon and very soon we will witness what is expected and what will be ordered by the leaders led by the Spirit of Yahusha in Yahusha's name. As I mentioned, within this series regarding End Times Core 4, set apart, sacrifice, set apart, safety, and survival. Not one of these can stand alone. This installment is to reaffirm the need to prepare and engage in becoming set apart as ordered by the Almighty Father Yahuah. While there are many different teachings, doctrines, positions of belief circulating, we will choose which side is correct. And as we witness the refining power of the Almighty Father, Yahuwah's Spirit working within us, making things straight, making things clear, the formation and structure of an awakening nation will come to be. It will require tough decisions, which most will not like. Nevertheless, the plan of the Almighty Father Yahuah will prove to be successful. Begin discussing expectations, my brothers and sisters. Begin talking, most of all, praying about how things are unfolding, and seek to discern what the person in the mirror must do. Success is fulfilling end-time prophecies that are required. And in fulfilling, being participants of the fulfilling of end-time prophecies, separation will come. Set-apartness will come. It demands that we walk led by the Spirit of Yahusha and that we demonstrate a life consistent to what is made alive through the Scriptures. This is what truly makes set apart, my brothers and sisters. This is what distinguishes those drawn versus those who are not. I will begin to conclude this installment by saying, my brothers and sisters, it is time to move to more mature and disciplined state. A more mature and disciplined state as we call out to Abba Yahuah, as we recognize what we are called to do, O Yasharal. It will be wise to identify those who bring the most details, true details regarding our preparation and formation of these final days, and consider those being led by the Spirit of Yahusha. It's time to leave comfort zones if and only if they do not provide instructions that promote and result in becoming set apart. How could we know that end time prophecies are being fulfilled if we are unable to discern them spiritually and physically? If they are not emerging clearly before us, the complex plan of Abba Yahuah will begin to become crystal clear. And the world will grow to know Abba Yahuah in the most realist way I can describe. We will come to know that he is very much alive, O Yasharal. Be set apart, my brothers and sisters, and witness others of like mind. Come together who desire to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuah. Come together in unity. Be encouraged. Our redemption truly draws near, and there will be movement very soon. Do we truly desire to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuah? Witness out of extreme humbling times, out of intense conditions ahead, O Yasharal, a set-apart nation will rise. And we will witness 144,000, 12,000 Hebrews from each of the 12 tribes, 12,000 of each tribes, all Hebrews, adding to 144,000. And believe it or not, many people fail to read the entire chapter of Revelation 7. There will be a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues together. Once the 12 tribes are identified as mentioned in Revelation 7 chapter, as we come together in unity, we will find ourselves gathering under one banner. That banner will indeed be Yasharal. Ready or not, the preparation stage has begun. End times are here. We will witness how being set apart will result in going through transformation cycles, of which will produce a unified set-apart family. We will understand all that is required, O Yasharal. Beware of deniers who present a false witness against the obedient of Abba Yahuah in Yahusha's name. For there are those who cannot discern, those who are unlearned, those who have not been brought into correction. There will indeed spread false rumors, false accusations, false narratives against the obedient of the Almighty Father. Know this, O Yasharal, we will and must face the realities of what's unfolding. Are you ready? Begin discussing these matters. Until next time, I invite you to continue to examine the messages in this series, End Times Core 4, Transformation Cycles. Focus on what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying to you, whether it be through these messages or through another. For I believe truly, as end times become intense, we will know what it means to sacrifice. We will know the importance of being set apart. We will know what is necessary to ensure our safety as we go to the places or remain in the place where the Almighty Father desires us to be. We will know why it's important to survive, how survival is important to fulfill all that is written. There must be some who survive the great tribulation. There must be those who survive and are brought to the set-apart mountain of Abba Yahuah. We are about to face the realities of what we claim to believe. We are about to face the realities of what has been prophesied since the days of old. Rise up, O Yasharal, and be encouraged. Our redemption draws near. Until next time, my name is Symmanayah, and I bid you much Shalum. Shalom. Shalom.